Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Blackstar1 here, and today we are going to be talking about Ubisoft. Now, I don't personally play a lot of Ubisoft games besides Assassin's Creed occasionally, but I feel what they did today with their policy and terms of service is bad for the gaming industry, the state of content creating, and Ubisoft themselves. But without further ado, let's cue the intro.
My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
So what I am referring to is the update to the new Uplay terms of service that has launched in the last couple of days, and it's very threatening to your right to own your own gameplay and content. Now, if this had been something that was online only, then it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But the reason this is such an issue is because if you do not agree to these new terms of service, then you can't play the games that you paid money for. Even if you bought the games before these new terms of service were put in place, you still can't play the games that, and I am going to emphasize this again, that you paid money for. Now, I am going to be pretty brief in this video, but if you want a more in-depth look into the new terms of service, check out Upper Echelon Gaming's video on it. I will leave a link into the description to his video. I will also leave a link in the description to the terms of service if you want to check out them yourself. Now let's get into the terms of service. So the first 5 seconds are about accounts and different features and how to access them, that kind of stuff. But the 6th section that is about user generated content, or more specifically content creation, is where it starts to go a little insane. It starts out by saying your image, aka your face or body, if it appears in a video with Ubisoft gameplay, that Ubisoft has the right to make money off of the gameplay, including your image. And that is not even the worst part. If you video include other people and Ubisoft decides to use your video and the person sues them, you have to pay them for their losses. Another example of this is if you buy some images to use in your video, and you use them in your video that includes gameplay from a Ubisoft game, and then Ubisoft decides that they want to use your video on an ad or on their website, and the people who you bought the image from come after Ubisoft, you have to pay them any money that they have to give the image owner, plus any legal bills for them or the image owner. They also have made some updates to their banning system, such as you can get banned for being AFK and, as they call it, disrupting the flow of the game, but I'm not going to get into those changes right now. The main point is that this is a problem. Say you upload a video to YouTube that with your friend that includes Assassin's Creed gameplay, and it's nothing special, but you or your friend is really good at the game and Ubisoft wants to use it for an ad for their game, and they also decide to copyright strike it's your video, so you get no money. Now your friend gets mad because they didn't want to be in Assassin's Creed ad, so he sues Ubisoft. Now basically you have to pay all Ubisoft's legal bills and losses, and you are making no money off that video, and it probably got taken down. So in the end of that scenario, you've wasted your time and money making that video, because you have gained nothing from the video and actually lost money for making the video, and on top of that you probably lost a friend too. This is a problem, and this is a problem for a lot of reasons, and it could have a far-reaching impact on the gaming industry if not addressed by the industry in a proper way. But first, let me go over the effects on content creation. As I touched on in the scenarios, this is a big problem for indie content creators. This means that any content that they create with Ubisoft content in it, they don't really own it. Ubisoft owns it and can really do whatever they want with it. And they can take away your money and take down your video really whenever they want, even if they're using your content in an ad or in another way. Now that leads me into the mistake that Ubisoft made. Now this is a mistake is not only going to affect content creation, as I mentioned. I think it's also going to affect Ubisoft, and more specifically Ubisoft's money and sales. You see, every YouTube video you see on YouTube that includes gameplay from a video game are all against copyright. So if a company wanted to, they could take down everything that includes gameplay of one of their games. But the reason they don't do that is because every time someone plays their game on YouTube or Twitch, it's free advertising for them. So if Ubisoft goes through with this, then less content creators are going to make content that includes Ubisoft games. And that means that less free advertising for Ubisoft. I also think that some people will just stop buying Ubisoft games because they don't have any terms of service. And you can't play the games if you don't agree to the new terms of service. So they just won't get the games in the first place. And I think that Ubisoft won't revise these changes until it starts to impact their wallet. Right now, they think they're up in a bubble and any backlash won't affect them. But it will, and the question is, once it affects them, will it be too late? Will they have turned away all of their content creators, and will they have nobody left? Now let's talk about the bigger impact of this, the impact it will have on the gaming industry as a whole. Now, as I see it, this could go a couple of ways for the industry. One, and the one I hope will happen, is that no other companies will do these policies, and we will just move on without Ubisoft content. The second one is that a couple more companies will join Ubisoft with these policies, but it won't be the majority. The third and worst of all the scenarios is if a lot of companies or all of the companies in the gaming industry adopt policies like this, and that would be really bad for the gaming industry. Imagine a world where a screen in a game that it can be taken down, and then Ubisoft can use it for their own monetary game. That is insane. Now, that is all for today's video. Don't forget to tell me what you thought of this in the comment section. Leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you for watching. This is Black Star 1 Going Dark.